Today I'm going to show all of you guys how to simply create a cinematic text animation in Adobe Premiere Pro, like the one I showed you at the beginning of the video. Throughout the whole video, I will try to be as clear and concise as possible. Also, this video is beginner friendly. So if you're a beginner, just calm down and listen to my steps and you'll be fine. Hopefully. But instead of wasting more time, let's just get right into the video, so here we go. The first thing you're going to do is to add a sequence once you start up Premiere. So there are multiple ways you can do to pull this off, but I'm going to show you two. But if you already know the steps of creating a sequence, I have left a timestamp for you guys to skip to. But if you don't know, then just hang along. The first thing you're going to do is to hover your mouse over to File, which is located at the top right corner right here. Hover over to New, and then Sequence. And as you can see, you can also perform a key command to simply open the sequence panels, which is Ctrl-N on your keyboard or Command-N on your Mac. Ha! Two birds with one stone. Anyways, click on Sequence and you'll see a whole sequence panel where there are many available sequence presets that you can choose from. For me personally, I really like AVCHD preset because it has already 1080p in it, and other reasons. I'm going to choose AVCHD 1080p 24 because most TV shows and movies usually are shot at 24 frames per second to give the audience the cinematic look, basically. But if you want to create your own settings, then you can do that by simply clicking on this section right here which says Settings, then click on Editing Mode. Scroll all the way up and click on Custom. This ensures that you can make your own settings and type whatever fits you, basically. Once you've made the settings or chose the preset that suits you, then you can just go ahead and click OK. And as you can see, the sequence has been created and the black screen appeared. Now for the real thing. Now you're going to add and edit the text. So what you're going to do here is either press T on the keyboard or you can click on the big T icon which is located here. After that, click on the black screen right here and you'll see a red box appear which indicates that you can type whatever you like. But I'm just going to type tutorial. And yes, I know it is very cliche, but still. The next step is to edit the text. If you have the effect settings selected right here, then you'll be able to see the effect controls which is located on the right hand side, right here. So click it and click on the small arrow next to the I at text tutorial, basically. If you can't see the settings to change your text, basically. But if you can see it, then you don't have to do it. The first thing I'm going to do is to change the text. So click on this section, which says Tahoma for me. And as you can see, there are many different fonts that you can choose from. But I'm going to choose a font that I really do enjoy the best, which is SF Movie Poster, which you can download in the description below. Once that is selected, you can see that the text is kind of small and more tight. But if you like it, then leave it this way. But here's the problem. I don't like it. So what I'm going to do is to change it. Simple. So hover your mouse cursor to a symbol that says VA. And what this means is that you can change the spacing of the letters and make them stay further away from each other. So I'm going to put in 200, for example, and you'll see it looks instantly better, at least in my opinion. Now click on the text and the blue box should appear around it. That means that you can resize, move around, rotate the text how you want it. If you think that your text is too small, well, don't worry. Once you have the text selected, simply have the mouse cursor hover over to the small dots that surround the text, click, hold, and drag it out just a notch, and bam! The text is bigger. When you have your text selected, can you see this small crosshair on the text? Well, click and hold and drag it to the middle of the text. Why? Well, I'll show you now. So click on the Essential Graphics right here and go to Align and Transform. And make sure that you have the text selected or else you can't see the settings for your text basically. But you see these icons? Click on both of them because what that means is that you'll center the text both horizontally and vertically. So I'm going to do it right now. And bam! It is centered. Now you have edited the text. Now is the time to apply the effects. But first, before we do that, click on this small area right here. And now go to this little thingy and go to the small circle at the end of it. Click, drag and hold towards the left so you can be able to zoom in on the timeline. So like zoom in so that you can see the exact seconds, like 4, 5, 6, 7 seconds. But as you can see for this clip, it is kind of short and I want it to be a little longer, alright? So in order to do that, hover your mouse at the end of the clip and you shall see a red icon appear. Click, drag and hold it to somewhere about 7 seconds. You can make it longer if you want, but I prefer the clip to be somewhere around 7 or 8 seconds long. Now is the time to add the effects, actually. So the first effect is the fade effect. A fade in and a fade out at the beginning of the clip and at the end of the clip. So go to the effects section, which should usually be located here. But if it's not there, then search for it. It should be around somewhere, you know. But after you found it, click on the search bar and type dissolve. Don't type fade, alright? Because those effects are only applicable for audio clips, which we don't have at the moment. And dissolve is only applicable for video clips, alright? So once you've searched dissolve, there are many different effects to it, alright? I would like to choose film dissolve because, you know, honestly, why not? So click, hold and drag that to the beginning of the video and you should see a green color appear. So drop it there and the effect is applied. And I would like the effect to be a little longer, alright? So in order to do that, have your mouse at the end of the effect, click, drag and hold it to at least 2 seconds, or shorter or longer than that, but not too short or too long, or else it might look weird, you know? And do the same thing again, with the same dissolve effect, you know, film dissolve, drag it over to the end of the video and drag the duration of the effect somewhere about 2 seconds also, before the video ends. And bam, you have a fade in and a fade out. The next effect you're going to apply is something I really do enjoy myself because it gives you the cinematic look, and that is to apply a blur, or specifically a Gaussian blur, alright? So search for it in the effects section right here. Drag and hold or double click it to apply the effect to the text. Go to the effect controls right here and click on the small arrow next to Gaussian blur if you can't see the settings for it, of course. If you can, then you don't have to do it. What you're going to do now is to click on the watch, which is located next to blurriness right here. And a keyframe should appear. But if you cannot see the timeline view, which the keyframes are located at, simply click on this small arrow right here, which is marked with dots and says show/hide timeline view. And you'll see the lonely keyframe that is trying to hide from us. But unfortunately, we're going to put it out of their misery. Because as you can see at the video, the text is not blurry. So in order to make it blurry, delete the keyframe. Click on the numbers right here and type in 100 and you shall witness the pure blurriness of the text. And you also got a new keyframe friend. Congrats. If you don't have the keyframe at the start of the video, then click, hold and drag it to the beginning, alright? And now have the video somewhere about 2.5 seconds after the video starts and click on the numbers and type 0. And as you can see, the blur takes effect at the start of the video, and the less blur you see, the more clear you will see the text. Now have the timeline at 2.5 seconds before the video ends and add a keyframe by simply clicking on this icon right here, which basically adds a new keyframe. Now drag the timeline at the end of the video, click on the numbers again and type 100. And once we play the full clip, you'll see a fade in and a blur in, but also a fade out and a blur out. Now for the last step, and the tutorial is complete. And that last step is to move the text, because as you can see throughout the whole video, the text is not moving, right? So in order to execute the movement, go to the text settings in effect control section here, scroll down until you see transform. Now you're going to turn on another clock which is next to scale, because we're going to make the text zoom in a bit, but not too fast or not too slow, or else you will not receive the immersive cinematic experience, alright? So click on the watch next to scale, If the keyframe is not at the beginning of the video, drag it to the start. And now drag the timeline at the very end of the video and click on the numbers and have the number somewhere around plus 30 or plus 40. So we can perform the slow zoom. So from 307 to 347. Now play the whole clip from the start and watch it. So if the zoom or the fade in or the blur out or whatever is not good enough for you, then you can just change it to your liking. But for me, I'm pretty much satisfied with the results. And if you are too, then congratulations, you have created a cinematic text animation in Adobe Premiere Pro. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys really enjoyed this tutorial and found it very helpful. If you like it, then hit the like button below and I'll see you guys in the future. Toodaloo.